Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and our continuing series on the MiSTer FPGA DE-10 Nano board, and today we're taking a look at the Game Boy Color core. And I know what some of you are probably thinking, I've already reviewed the Game Boy core, and both Game Boy and Game Boy Color games work out of the same core, but because there is a lot of independent settings for the color games, and I didn't want to make the Game Boy video 20 minutes long, I split this up into two different sections. Before we get too far involved, if you do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down there as well. But if you don't, I won't drop a bomb on you. Don't worry. And the MiSTer Game Boy core was awesome, and the Game Boy Color being the same core, of course, is still going to be awesome. But the unique thing is, Game Boy and Game Boy Color, while being basically the same system, have a lot of differences. But going through all the different options, one of my favorites is the save states. I love being able to use a save state in emulation. That way I can go back to a previous time. If there's a particularly challenging area, I'm trying to get better at a game, I love save states. And this is one of the cores that has them, so that is awesome. And of course, with a lot of the console and handheld cores, you're going to have cheats. Generally, I don't use these, but it's a whole option for you. But interestingly, in the video settings, we have a lot of different things. You can load up custom palettes. I don't have any on my SD card because I like the color as is, but you can download user-made custom color palettes and load them into the Game Boy Color core. You can change the aspect ratio and the scale. I leave those both at original and normal, but I like that you can change the colors around from corrected to raw. It gives it a completely different look, and I think depending on what game you're playing, one may look better than the other, but this core is doing an amazing job of running Game Boy Color games, so much so that this is my preferred way to play. It's the same thing I said for the Game Boy core. I mean, granted, they are the same core, but it's just the vernacular I'm using. I have a Game Boy, I have a Game Boy Color, I've modified the screens in them to be newer and brighter and better, but it's still a small handheld system, and it's one that I pick up and play for 20-30 minutes and put back down. I more modified them just to do the mod because I enjoy modding stuff so much than I did to actually get a slightly better way to play the game. So taking a look at R-Type here, it looks incredible on the MiSTer. I'm using HDMI out and I'm upscaling this, and everything looks spectacular, whether it's for capture or it's on my 4K being upscaled from 1080p. These games look incredible when they're given the utmost quality to shine. But moving back to the save state feature, it's one of the best parts of this core, and it's not an easy thing to pull off. A save state literally is just saving all of the different instructions that are currently being processed, so when you reload the save state, it's rolling back the code execution to bring you back to where you were, and you'll see here, it is instantaneous and perfect. I've been using this a lot for the core. I've never lost a save state. I've never had any issues with them, and it's a really useful function when you're trying to learn a game better. Maybe you're trying to 1cc something. Being able to rewind to a previous save state just allows you to work on areas of the game that might be tricky for you in rapid succession. But you can see here, everything looks incredible. The core sounds great, it looks great, it's everything that you want it to be, and this is going to definitely be my preferred way to play Game Boy Color games moving forward. Now granted, just like Game Boy games, there are other ways to play these games on something like the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo, and that is an awesome option, but it just requires a lot more hardware and a lot more hookups to deal with than just putting these ROMs on the MiSTer and running them as is. And that's what I really love about this particular core, is that it just makes it easier to experience these handheld games on your TV, and the color is just absolutely spectacular. Here in Wacky Races, you can really see that the Game Boy Color had a lot of ability to move really fast, to draw a lot of frames, and to give you this really nice scaling perspective. Now, it's not really scaling sprites so much as it is loading new ones in, but I just love everything about the Game Boy Color, and being able to play it on the MiSTer is awesome. But I will say the sound is great too, so go ahead and listen to this for about 30 seconds, and I'll come back and talk more about the different colors you can choose. So yeah, that's as good of quality of audio as you're going to get out of the Game Boy Color that's possible. Of course, it wasn't an audio powerhouse, but on the MiSTer, it's the best version of the audio you're going to get. Moving over to MiSTer Driller here, I want to talk more about the corrected versus raw color options, because I mentioned earlier, depending on what game you're playing, I feel like it's no one right answer as to which one of those you do want to choose. Because MiSTer Driller here with the corrected color palette looks awesome. Everything's really nice and pastel, orange and green and purple. purple and blue, but when we move over and switch to the raw color palette, it definitely is going to look different, but I actually kind of prefer it for Mr. Driller. So definitely, oh, I went to the wrong menu there, change around that color option to see what suits you for each game, because we went from a pure pastel to this really nice almost neon blue and green, and you can see all of the different charts there, the depth, the score, the air, just ever so slightly changed. This is an option that you want to toggle on and off per individual game to see what it is that you would like to play. And here too on Mega Man, I'm using the corrected version now because I feel like raw is just too vibrant. So it's going to be really interesting to go back and forth and see what you like and what you don't like. There is no one answer as far as visuals are concerned as to what is quote-unquote correct. There might be something that's closer to the original intent, but this is visual and it's what you want it to look like. But again, the music in Mega Man is great, so listen and I'll be back in a second and close out the video. Now, there is one comment I have about the audio. That is a very simple one, which is to say, at native volume on MiSTer, the Game Boy Core likes to clip my speakers, and all you need to do is go into the settings and lower the audio volume down a little bit, and that may be particular to my setup. You may not have an issue with that whatsoever. But taking a look at Resident Evil Gaiden here, this is a more fun and better, in my opinion, way to play the game than on the Game Boy Color, because it looks great on a large screen and you get to see a lot more of the detail, because even though this is just Game Boy Color, everything looks great. The scale, the perspective, the colors that it's using, the pixel art. It's a really fun game to check out and look at, and that's why I enjoy this core so much. It kind of gives the Game Boy Color a new lease on life. You can check out games that maybe you experienced back in the 90s in a new and a little bit more interesting way. But short of that, yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Tell me, have you played the Game Boy Color core yet? Are you enjoying it? Did you play Game Boy back in the day? I always love hearing from you guys and what you think. And if you have any other suggestions for more MiSTer videos, leave them down below. Short of that, like I mentioned earlier, if you could do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. I will be back next Wednesday with another video in the MiSTer core review series, and I'll have videos on Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I gotta go deal with this zombie right now. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.